party arrived in Swindon and were immediately greeted by the fantasy TSA.
I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm really sorry. When I disconnected, the recording was stopped. And I didn't have a chance to tell you, go for it. I'm not trying to fuck around now. I'm genuinely, like, trying to make sure you're good to go.
In the arms
So, send it,
of
gamer.
an angel, fly away, we're back! Last time, the party, what is it, fourth time's a charm? Party arrived in Swindon and were greeted by the fantasy TSA, who gave them the big pat down, asked them what the fuck was going on, where they were going, what was going in their fucking pants.
Who, what, when, where?
Huh?
Everywhere, everything, all at once.
Good movie.
Most everyone was fairly like, what the fuck, but only Valor was the one that was able to pick up that, yes, these guys are like kind of like high alert. Something's fucked. Something's bad right now. And proceeded to inform the rest of the party afterwards. The party then split up to do their own little investigations, whereupon Vint and Tsalia checked the lighthouse, which, third time's charm, it's actually just a lighthouse.
There's no evil there.
There's no evil.
Yet.
If the demons spawn, they're going to turn it into their keep. I know it.
Tsalia crept up the lighthouse, used her little spyglass.
What
do you mean crept? I just fucking walked.
You did the fucking skitter.
I did not skitter. I merely walked vertically.
Fucking hate you. Used her spyglass and saw, oh, hey, that's a fucking murder scene. Shenanigans ensued, but clues were garnered, like the fact that there was a very spooky summoning circle. On Azure's point of view, he was doing his damnedest, just performing his heart out, and met a very drunk, very grieving count. And after, very heartwarming, or not heartwarming, emotional chat, he got some money out of it, because the count was like, hey, you're fucking chill, thank you, and palmed 2 platinum into his hand.
First platinum of the game.
But on the beach, Valor and Fane were doing the real important stuff. Having a heart-to-heart. And also looking for gifts for their romantic interests. I mean, friends. Eventually, Tsalia and Vint came screaming. The party regrouped, pounded back through food, and went to go talk to Azure's count friend, only to be distracted by a scream. Why is that so fucking loud?
And why is it so calm?
Why is that so fucking loud?
Not loud on my end.
Yeah, it just wasn't... Whatever. Fucking... Okay. Strange.
That's more ominous.
Alright. Well, we pick up exactly where we left off. Interrupted before meeting with Count Caldwin, you all approach a... not exactly a back alley area, but the zone between property. A green field that... I'm gonna fucking kill you, Myra. A once lush and vibrant green field with tall, peaceful trees, now stained by a once beautiful woman who has appeared to have lost her head.
There anybody else around?
The guard are already on the scene, and there's a variety of townspeople going back and forth, some trying to get the fuck away, while others have their morbid curiosity piqued and are trying to see what the fuck is going on.
I want to go read something real quick.
Just
The ominous music is going up and down in volume.
yeah. Okay. But this is the scene that you have so far. It looks like the guards are trying to keep people calm and keep them away from the body, while a few others discuss some matters with a much more heavily armored individual.
I immediately run up to one of the guards, rip him on the shoulders, and loudly ask, "How many murders have there been?"
What? I
It is very important you answer right this
You need-
second.
listen, lass. You need to go back.
If you do not answer, everybody in this town could die. Answer now.
As you are screaming this, the heavily armored figure has just looked up from his own discussion. And while the bewildered guard is trying to process what you are screaming at him,
Can I roll for intimidation?
sure, go for it. But as you're doing that, the heavily armored figure is approaching.
Just Tsalia or all of us?
Five.
All of us. I assume we're not far behind Tsalia. Thane, Ren, help the guards get the people back from this.
Fane nods, and Ren just boulders. Well, we'll do our best. As a figure in a I want to say towering, but we have a 7-foot tall dragging man, so I can't really say towering. He's
A
the one that
dragging
towers.
man?
Shush. Shush you.
He's the one that fucking towers. So
How tall is he?
he's a decently sized individual, probably about 6'5", thereabouts.
Oh, he's Azure's height.
As he approaches and pulls the bewildered guard back and steps between Tsalia and him. And what, may I ask, is this about?
Vint, get the lantern.
Put up the black box first. We don't want everyone fucking in town seeing this shit.
I need 10 minutes and I can explain everything.
Young lady, you are treading dangerously close into.
I light the lantern. If he's gonna be like, fuck off, then nah, we're not waiting. Everyone gets to see it.
What is the range on the lantern?
Oh, fuck, let me pull it up. I was just standing up to do a little bit of a stretch. Lantern of Revealing. In a 30-foot radius. So, and then, yeah, 30-foot radius of bright light, and anything within that bright light that is invisible becomes visible.
Okay, so 30 foot.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you cannot get within 30 foot because of the guards.
I will. Okay, so I won't do that then. How close is the nearest building? Oh wait, never mind. I'll jump over them using levitate and then fucking do it. Like, I'm getting in there and I'm lighting this bitch up.
As you somersault over him, it seems that any amount of goodwill or patience that you might have potentially had has just been completely lost.
Mhm.
The guard captain snaps his fingers, points at two of the guards, arrest these two.
I light the lantern as they're coming at me, and all the circles will light up. Or everything within 30 feet of me, at least.
Tsalia, are you resisting?
Yes.
Okay, I need an opposed athletics as two guards are attempting to put you in cuffs.
I don't have athletics.
The two guards that have gone towards you, Vint,
Mm-hmm.
slow, and you can see on one of them who has his visor up, he's confused.
I get a
What?
9.
You are grappled as they are starting to put the cuffs around your wrists.
I just start yelling, "Those are infernal sigils! They cover the island! The town! The town is a giant summoning circle!"
The guard
Enough.
captain The guard captain snaps his fingers towards a couple of the other guards. Get the civilians away. We don't need them causing panic. And he goes towards the two that have frozen in place in front of Vint, just in sheer confusion, and you see he raises his fist, points at Vint. Take him to the gatehouse for questioning.
We're on a clock, guys. We don't know how fucking long this is gonna take. But this is happening fast. Let's talk here. If you let my friend go, she can put up a black box that we can talk very privately in.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Oh.
And
-2.
Valor also speak up.
Oh, I got decent for a -2 at disadvantage. Jesus.
Go ahead, Valor. You said you wanted to speak up, Valor?
Yes, Valor does take a step and speak up and says, "If I may ask you to hold your bricks for just a minute."
You can see, like, all around you, like, this scene between you guys and the guard. Though some, like, the guard are trying to get the townspeople away from the area, everything has started to become desperately out of control. As all the various shouting and arguments has started to create a little bit of panic. And the guard captain turns and looks at you, Valor, over one shoulder. Not here.
I can recognize not here. I am asking you for a moment because I think we can all tell here that neither side has handled this situation well.
For interrupting an official guard investigation. And I'm trying to find the fucking word. I just had
Inciting? Inciting a panic?
Yeah, inciting panic, and there's also another one. It's I I give up. I'm just going to do the best thing I have at present. And interrupt. No, I just had it again. Disrupting official guard duties. Your compatriots, I will assume, are under arrest. Any further discussions can be had at the guardhouse. Am I clear?
I'll douse the lantern and walk up to the guy. Then let's fucking walk quickly.
He motions. And Vint, are you resisting the two guards that come up behind you?
There's no need to do the manhandling, guys. Let's just be quick about this.
Hold on a second. Pause.
What are you doing? We're on time already.
Oregon Rebellion.
Remind me, am I? Is Azure with everyone? I'm trying to remember where
you are there. You just left your guy down there.
Yeah.
We were all. I think this is a product. I think your confusion is a product of you don't move your token around a whole lot.
No. It was I genuinely didn't remember.
Yeah, no, we all last session we all booked it towards the screen.
So we were here at the inn. We bought some rooms and we had some food. We started headed this way. We heard a scream. We headed this way.
Yep.
Yeah. You moved your token all the way down. As we said, we were going to the count. And while all of us were walking like step by step, square by square, so that's why we were in a different location, is because we were like halfway and then moved our tokens when we said we heard the scream. Your token was just left down at the other location, as where we were originally heading.
Right, but
You're with us.
Whatever. No, okay.
Where even is the guardhouse?
Good fucking question.
Hopefully it's fucking nearby.
It probably isn't. This guy's a dickhead.
I have a feeling. Talking to him is going to be useless.
Yeah, probably.
Apologies for the unscheduled interruption. A lot of people were talking to me and my food arrived. So.
Rip.
Sustenance.
A lot of things happened all at once. I will put that down there and I will worry about that in a bit. Anyways. The guards look like they are hesitating about, putting you in the manacles, but one look from the guard captain, and they just kind of look at you, which is like, please don't make this harder on us.
Then fucking cuff me as we walk. I put my wrist behind my back.
Question. I have a question, Sparky.
Answer.
So I know how, generally in medieval times in the European, I know that guards are generally commoners who volunteer to be guards and night watch.
Right.
Is that the case here?
Yeah.
In this world?
Yeah. The only exceptions are the high-ranking ones who either come from nobility, have military experience, or some combination.
Then I think my feature Dark Heart or Heart of Darkness would work on them then. If they're commoners.
Okay. Do me a favor, read out the Dark Harvest. Or not Dark. You know what I mean.
Dark Harvest, yes, I'm going to harvest them darkly.
You're harvesting this, sirs!
I am not a necromancer. I am a fucking blade singer. Listen, I can be a necromancer if you want me to.
That'd be very funny.
Those who look into your eyes can see you have faced unimaginable horror and you are no stranger to darkness. Though they might fear you, commoners will extend you every courtesy to do their utmost to help you, unless you have shown yourself to be a danger to them, which I might have with that one guy I was yelling at. They will even take up arms to fight alongside you, should you find yourself facing an enemy alone.
Mm-hmm. I will say,
I have not called upon it yet, but I just want to bring that up, because I'm
So
probably going to call upon that.
I will say, in this situation, right, with both you and Vint, the guards are very hesitant about what is going on right now, but they are in the mindset of, like, orders are orders.
Yes.
But
I'm
it
not gonna
does
argue
look
with it.
like, one, the guys that are handling you gentler, and, there's a couple apologies that are muttered, and it looks as though once they're out of the public eye, I feel like one of them might actually try to talk down the guard captain,
Mm-hmm.
but everything is just so loaded right now that
Absolutely.
there is no, like, opportunity. So I will put down a little flag for...
I think you already did.
No, for the prison.
Oh, the prison.
What is your Azure?
Since Azure is here, and because I know out of character, I have a sneaking suspicion having to faff about with the guard captain is probably not in our favor. But looking at it through the lens of Azure, or keeping the metagame shenanigans out of it, looking at this from Azure's perspective, he's not happy his friends are getting manacled. This seems like a bit of a reach. He's also just had a fascinating conversation with a very specific individual. I would think Azure feels there is a lever to possibly tap a little to see how it gives.
Okay, all right. Let's
So,
see what you got.
Azure will come up. My good man, a moment. I understand that these individuals, he's not trying to, like, pretend he is or isn't with everyone. He's just being chaotic at this point. Or not chaotic. I say chaotic. Misleading a little bit. I understand that these individuals have made your job here a slight bit inconvenient. However, I do believe they and myself may have some pertinent information or some information that is of import to this investigation. And I highly recommend that we have this conversation much sooner than later, because this from what we're finding is a time-sensitive matter.
Roll me a persuasion.
Okay.
Something I do want to point out. I don't think I've ever actually used it. I'm actually half decent in persuasion.
Dirty 20.
I don't think I've ever used persuasion in this game.
You have actually. You've used it once or twice.
Okay. Tsalia can persuade people. She just never fucking tries.
All right, dirty 20. While, like, this is happening while you guys are walking to the guardhouse. You probably are at this road now. But the guard captain takes a moment to consider. Remove the manacles. They are still under arrest until we can ascertain intentions, but I will give you one more benefit of doubt.
Azure will nod. If necessary, I am prepared to vouch that their actions, while they may have crossed a line, or that while there may be the perception that they crossed a line, their actions were not to cause harm. I'm prepared to vouch for that. But I digress. You've said you've given us a benefit of a doubt, and we'll proceed with that. I am just informing you to, in the desire that we work together, rather than come to a crossroads.
Well, let's see what you have. As this captain takes you all down to the prison. The manacles are removed from both of your wrists, Vint and Tsalia, but you both are unfortunately still put in cells.
Mhm.
And I'm going to
Okay.
turn it down.
I
And
was hoping that we weren't having to do all this whole walking thing, but that's fine. I can work with this.
move over here.
Oh, you knew this was going to happen.
I was prepared for the eventuality, but this was also like a thing of like it probably would have. What the fuck?
I have a weird. Not weird. I have a very interesting question, Myra.
Yeah.
What was Tsalia's thought process in choosing that as her method of attempting to speak about everything?
What do you mean?
The screaming.
Oh, the screaming?
Because this is very much I've never seen Tsalia do that before. What the fuck?
It wasn't
Oh, boy.
It wasn't so much a method of trying to talk to like the entire guard force. It was more so a gambit of we are on a very everything's gone dark.
Yeah, everything just went dark.
Yep,
There we go.
I'm picking it because it
Copy that.
the dynamic lighting broke.
Ah, love to see it.
It was more so a gambit of trying to obtain information quickly because we're obviously on a very strict time limit, and Tsalia, for once in her life, is actually a little panicked.
I see.
Yeah, and Vint was already working himself up into a fucking panic, and Tsalia panicking was just like, the person who knows everything doesn't know anything? Oh god! Oh god!
Pretty much, yeah, it's pretty much, Tsalia is starting to fucking panic because this is going by really fast and something terrible is going to happen soon.
Yeah. I almost choked on my needles.
Azure will likely need Dolores' help with like communicating to this man because big and bigger time. Not in terms of violence necessarily, just more of like Azure can do less speak, but in terms of information conveyance.
The guard captain sends away, the ones that have come to escort you, and looks at you two very critically. The last thing Swindon needs is entire populace going into a frenzy.
That is never good. This is correct.
You're not going to hear any disagreement from me.
But we're on a time limit, and we do not have much more time.
Sorry, that wasn't to interrupt you. That was meant to be like a distant thing, not actually interrupt, so I apologize.
So,
Oh no, I was done.
So you created an illusion to frighten my guards and everyone looking over the murder scene.
It's not an illusion.
It was dispelling an illusion, if anything.
What do you perceive as this illusion?
The glowing runes and sigils.
So you saw them? Yes
Yeah,
or no?
The glowing
Or
runes
hang on,
and
let me
sigils.
Sorry.
The glowing runes and sigils are invisible to the naked eye.
Oh, and I also do want to...
I picked.
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. You go first.
Okay, I just wanted to say, I do want to rephrase that, because Azure's not, like, whatever the actual realities, this man perceives that he is operating from a position of power. Whether that's true or not, and I'm not implying that it isn't, just whether that is true or not, he perceives that he has the power here, and that we are merely a bunch of dickheads fucking with this shit. Azure it probably recognizes this. Therefore, he wouldn't phrase his question as, so you saw it, yes or no. He would say, you saw the runes as well. Yes? And more of with a tone of, genuine curiosity, not a interrogative, but of a, you saw them too? If that makes more sense. Sorry.
We have been dealing with these murders for well over a month now. We have had every ne'er-do-well and hooligan under the sun come and share their theories.
I can prove it to you. Give me my arcane focus and take out the lantern.
Azure's gonna glance at Tsalia.
Valor takes... I'm assuming there's a tiny bout of silence.
Yes.
Valor takes this silence moment to speak up and says, these individuals who have come by and given their theories before, what kind of people were they like? Were they commoners, random passerby, or did they have some sort of knowledge beforehand of what might be happening? Are there any avenues of investigation you have not seen before?
My question to you is, why should I be involving random, newly arrived adventurers into the guards' investigation?
My good man.
You have no involvement with this. You have no stake, and we are not going to be held hostage by mercenaries looking for coin.
We don't want the money.
I was just gonna
to make
glare
sure
at him at
people
this point.
survive.
Sorry.
Brand, that thing I picked up, was it like a sigil stone or something?
It was on the ground.
It was on the ground.
It was it was designed into the ground.
I can read Infernal. These runes are written in Infernal. They are summoning sigils. We've dealt with this before. The Baron of... what was that place?
Dunwalt.
The Baron of Dunwalt summoned a bone devil.
Tsalia, give me a moment. Please.
Go ahead.
You are suspicious of us in the accusation that we are random individuals hoping to get in on the situation to get something out of it, and you have no knowledge of who we are or where we are from, correct?
He nods.
Would knowledge of who we are and situations and experiences we have found ourselves in previous aid you in at least hearing us out?
I'll humor you.
I hate this guy. This is exactly the kind of person I hate. Fucking sure as shit, motherfuckers. Like, fuck off.
He motions towards you, Valor, to proceed.
I'm trying to think of what I'm saying. Because Valor doesn't want to make it sound like they're bragging, but he wants to give enough breadth of experience that he understands, like, what they might have. Does that make sense?
Right. You guys can't hear, like, any chewing or anything, can you?
You're good.
No.
No.
Okay, I want to make sure, because, like, obviously, bad timing on when the food arrived, but...
We only hear the silence.
Okay.
And the leaves rustling in the ambiance.
When quick clarification point for me, when he uses the term adventures, does Valor recognize that he is talking about random people who go around helping, as in mercenaries, as he said, or does Valor understand that adventurers also could mean under the guild system?
He's more referring to, like, actual mercenaries.
Okay. Cool. The four of us are individuals who lead one of the guilds within the guild system back in Dawnbreak. Granted, it is a smaller guild, but we do have one under our disposal. All four of us are registered as adventurers within the Urun army. I myself have worked under one of its captains for multiple years. Over the past couple of months, we have been dealing with many issues surrounding around the capital, and we ourselves are only in the area because we were passing through and by to aid other cities and other towns and villages within the area nearest to the war border.
The captain who you worked under.
Leon.
What is his name?
Oh fuck, what's his last name?
No, you just need to say Leandros.
Captain...
I didn't mean to
isn't it Ruvath?
Yes.
Is that his last name? Captain Leandros Ruvath. He's a good friend of mine.
You watch as he considers this. And then begrudgingly goes over and lets Tsalia out. And then goes to unlock Vint's. And then just stares at you, Vint, when he realizes it is unlocked.
Look, I was just gonna sit here all night. I was gonna let us have a fucking conversation, you know, blah blah blah, but gotta be prepared for the worst case shit where you try and stab me, you know. I don't know how shit works now.
I am gonna be real. If this had and this may still be necessary, but I am not above. Azure is not above leveraging his conversation with the Count to put the screws to this guy.
Valor very much leveraged his relationship with the captain of the Rune army.
Yeah, you did.
We need a
We
map
both had our
of the
screws.
We need a map of the town, and to know where all the murders have been happening.
If you speak, wait here.
As he leaves, Valor's going to turn to Tsalia and say, Tsalia?
What?
Question. Do I have to make an insight check to know that Tsalia is panicking right now?
Probably. She still has the same face as usual, but it might be told from her tone of voice. She's not exactly she's not letting it, it's not written on her face.
Right. I'm mostly asking because I feel like Valor might have an inkling because Tsalia is not usually this pushy.
Mm-hmm.
Give me an insight opposed by Stalia's deception.
14.
14.
14!
Beats it.
I like rollies when it's player versus player stuff, though. Just roll again.
I will accept meets it, beats it.
Okay.
Alright, fair enough. Internally, to Tsalia mentally, Valor's gonna go, am I to understand that the order of magnitude of which this is why you might be panicking?
It's more so the magnitude and the time.
Alright. May I ask you to take a breath? You're being very quick about a lot of things, and I don't know whether or not we're going to be able to get to what you wish to do to the point where we can help if everything keeps getting rushed as it is. This individual, I can tell, he's not going to budge willingly, and being forceful about a lot of stuff is probably not going to help.
A second we waste is a possible another murder.
I can understand that, which is why I need you to stop pushing it, because the more you push, the more he becomes stubborn. Be a little less about it, and we'll get out of here quicker.
Sally does not respond.
Under this private's supervision, you may have access to our archives.
Valor will give him a little bit of a head nod. Thank you.
Lead the way.
You are not under arrest, but you are on thin ice. I have other matters to attend to. I hope, when I return, there's some sort of progress that has been made.
Sir, before you go,
He stops.
I don't know if you have or not yet, because we only just got into town, but you need to consider putting a curfew in place with how fast this shit is moving.
He considers your words, then nods.
All right, let's look at those maps.
Right, names, Private McAllister, for me.
I look at Tsalia as we walk under my breath. Total pushover, isn't he? We're gonna be able to fucking just squeeze this guy for all the information.
Wrong door.
Tsalia does not respond.
Oh.
Right in here.
You're gonna have to move him first. We don't know where the door is.
That's right.
I saw it.
I tried to mark the doors a little bit better, but
Here we are.
Tsalia immediately begins ransacking the room looking for information.
While they do that, Valor's gonna stand outside of the private.
He seems a bit nervous, but gives you a
You
nod.
you alright?
Well, not exactly every day when the captain says that we're allowed to let some civilians in. Not in it.
I guess so, though. You could classify us as a slight bit more than civilians, but I get your point.
So, long as he don't break anything. You see, like, he clearly has no fucking clue what he's supposed to do in this situation.
We try not to, I promise. Most of the things we get up to usually involve making sure important things around us don't get broken.
Right.
Valor decides to ease his worries just a little bit and says, we're part of one of the guilds back in Dawnbreak. We were in the area for some other aid we were going to give people and thought we might lend a hand if we can.
Well, I hope you are able to have more success than we have.
We have a little bit of experience. We've been running into a couple of things throughout the continent every once in a while. So it's not something we're new to. It's not something we haven't seen. Not this specific scenario, but similar factors, as you might say.
Right. I think I get what you're putting down.
Do you mind if I ask a couple of questions about it? Well, archives are wonderful. Sometimes getting at least a verbal response to some questions, an opinion, or a first-hand account of sorts might help a little more in perception of things we might look for or whatnot.
He looks towards the man at the desk, who shrugs. I'll show you. Go for it.
Wonderful. You can deal with them in the archives first while I write down the questions I want to ask.
Okay, what... Obviously, you guys are tearing apart the room. What exactly are you looking for?
I am looking for every young woman beheaded within the past, what was it?
Month. According to what the guard captain just said in the fucking prison room.
I will extend my investigation by 2 months.
Within that 2-month period, there are 3.
3.
That you can find.
Alright. Is there a map in here?
On a 22... It seems there is not a map, but what this is like detailed.
Sorry.
No, I just couldn't talk. I stumbled over my own tongue. Detailed accounts of, the investigation, the murder scenes, the official write-up of everything.
What I was asking is there just a map? Not a map in these documents, but is there just a map of the town?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And I imagine these documents also say the location where these happened?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, I'm going to take the map. I want to mark them down on the map.
Found the 2 most recent ones that happened on the same day.
According to the archives, the one that you guys saw today, while it is reported for, today, the signs show that it happened late the prior night.
Mm-hmm.
It was only just discovered at a more recent juncture.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one is, if I can put it to the right layer, right here.
Right. So those are the only 3.
Obviously, the one that has just happened today has not been added.
Okay, so let's see here. That seems pretty damning to me.
Yeah. Yeah, let's
Either way, it's either going to be a pentagram or a pentagon, which effectively is the same thing.
because
So,
you can
like-
make them both.
Like, we're looking around this area. Alright. They've all been decapitated, yes?
Yes.
Are
All of
there
them?
also... Have there been other murders?
There have been other murders, but it all seems to be just run-of-the-mill.
Unrelated murders.
Yeah.
This guy
Like,
got
they even-
stabbed.
They even have, the perpetrators have already been punished and arrested and all that stuff.
Alright, so these are the only unsolved ones which seem to be linked together, so over here is our next location. Absolutely. I would also wait. I would also, if I could please, and around here-ish. I'm willing to bet there's something right around here in this hexagon here that might not be a murder, but more so maybe the center of it.
I hate it here. Sorry, just looking at that. I did want to say, Azure wants specifically to find more information on the Count's daughter.
Okay.
Because this doesn't seem very, like, this investigation doesn't... The Count's daughter died. This feels like this should be a lot bit more of a deal. Like, this doesn't feel like... There's something missing, and it feels like it feels like the Count's daughter dying has not made the impact that it should have, if that makes sense.
I've already found all the murder victims, so you could look deeper into those specifics.
Yeah, no, I specifically, and that's exactly right. I appreciate that. That's exactly what I want to do. I want to know, I want to dig into Azure wants to dig into the information on specifically the investigation when she was found dead, what was done around that time, and what maybe see if there's anything that spun off from that. Is there any information on this? For 2 reasons. One, if he can put if we start getting pushback from that captain, Azure's gonna bury him with it. Because I say bury that. Not that he will actually be able to, it's Azure's of the mind that he's gonna bury this man for it. A man's daughter died and he's done nothing. Not only that, it's the Count's daughter. It feels like there's something missing. He wants to find that information, especially because, besides that point, too, he wants to be able to advance this. If he can leverage this accurately, that will get us to where we need to be faster in terms of heading this off at the pass, or if we can't head it off, mitigating this and hopefully not ending in an apocalypse of some sort or another. Because, and the third point is, he does not want to go off the rails. He can't just accuse this man without evidence. And so by ensuring he understands the context, ensures that he cannot be dismissed, and moreover, that he is not jumping the gun.
Of course. Right. Obviously, as already mentioned, Tsalia has found all the victims. Well, the 3 that are recorded here. It appears that the Count's daughter was the second victim.
Okay.
and was when the guard fully realized, this might be an actual serial killer. I mean, there's two different themes, they're matching. The first one was also a noble's daughter. Not, to the same degree as the Count, but was also a noble. With the third being, again, another noble's daughter.
Starts here, goes here.
I have
All
some
three of-
questions.
Go.
No, you finish, but I'm letting you know my questions are done.
All three of them were half-elves. All of them young women. And all of them... Well, two of them were followers of Nanera, and one was a follower of Tsalia. What just fucking...
Why did the thing change?
Why did it change? It fucking turned off the loop.
Lol.
It just deactivated the fucking loop for no reason.
Maybe there's a hotkey that we just don't know about, and you keep accidentally pressing it.
I didn't press anything. I have my hands off the keyboard.
I don't know.
Alright.
Oops.
So we're looking for elven women, or half-elven, of elven heritage. Age demographic?
Early to mid-20s.
In the 20s.
Well, relatively, right? 'Cause obviously...
Young elf women.
Question for Sparky when you're done. Myra.
I'm pretty much done. I'm just gathering all my information here.
So that's information on the different victims, but I want to know more. Like, Azure is specifically hunting for the files on that pertain to the Count's daughter. Like, nobles, like, unless the other noble daughters were of nobles higher rank than the Count, which would change the balance of things. Assuming this is the most notable, highest whatever official who's had a daughter, killed that matches this investigation, he's specifically looking for the files pertaining to that because he wants to understand what's going on. Because this feels like if a bunch of noble daughters are dying, why is not an external entity not been brought in some way, shape, or form?
Right. Okay.
This is very located to this town, which does not make sense for nobles. The nobles would be screaming for this man's head.
Okay. Give me an investigation. See what you can find there, and we're gonna go over to Zeph with your questions. And why is the map not loading?
What are you talking about?
Map's not loading. Okay, there we go. I had to restart.
It was loaded for us!
It seems like my browser is just throwing a shit fit.
Lol. Real quick. That, that public service or whatever it was, what store was, what was that in the middle of the town?
In the middle of...
Was that just a general store?
That was just a
Bazaar?
general store. That was just a general store, yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Valor.
Well, I guess my first question would be, the locations all of them were found in, is there anything unique about those locations specifically? Do they have similarities to them? Or in terms of what you know as people who live in the town, are they just seemingly out of random to you?
To my eyes, it just seems random. There's no real theme.
Besides, not being in a public area.
They seem to be closer to the outsides of the town. Otherwise, I
Hmm.
it's one of the big problems of why we haven't been able to find anything.
The individuals who are targeted, are there any connections between them? People they all knew, interests they had? Besides what race they might be or standing, is there anything through them else that might have had the connection?
Uh, not that I'm aware. No.
Was there anything unusual that happened around the time that everything started? You know which murder was first. Did anything unusual happen before or after that first one happened that you might not have clued in on?
He starts to think a bit. Well, uh, let me think. The Count's daughter was getting real uppity. She kept sneaking out late at night.
And that is an unusual activity for her?
Uh, most everyone knew that she was a fairly sweet and well-behaved gal. So, yeah, it was a bit unusual.
Do you know what direction she might have snuck off to? Or was it unknown and you would just find out later that when she would return?
We'd just find out later.
Hmm.
We are not exactly the bodyguards for a young lady.
No, but gossip does get around.
Of course, of course. Eh, there were some rumors that she was maybe sneaking off to visit a secret lover, or just exploring places she wasn't supposed to be exploring. But really, I think that the poor girl was just cooped up, just wanted freedom.
The other girls who were murdered, they were also individuals who lived here, yes?
Of course, yeah. All noble daughters, all very
And
well respected for nobles.
can I insert check that?
Yeah, go for it.
That is not the buttons I wanted to push. 24.
You can tell that he's still a bit nervous about like giving all this information, but he's being fairly upfront about it.
Okay.
Like, he's a commoner.
Right.
You know, he's clearly like a fresh face in the guard, fresh and listy.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, not every commoner really likes nobles.
Understandable. And none of the other girls, only the Khan's daughter, had unusual activity around that time.
To the best of my knowledge, yeah, that's a fair assessment, yeah.
Okay. Around the murderers themselves, whenever they were found, was there any notable disturbance, like tracks or other signs of destruction? Was there something that showed movement in and out of the area? Or did the bodies look like they just appeared there, dead?
Now that you mention it, yeah, that's one of the oldest parts about the entire thing is there were no tracks. Nah.
Have there been, around the past month, have there been any unusual magic sightings, lights, feelings of pressure changes, other weird signs that usually point to a magical nature? Or has it been mostly silent in that regard?
Not that I know, no. At the very least, nothing that has been reported or anything that I mean, I have noticed, just nothing that really springs to mind.
And in the reports as well, was anyone able to determine, or not necessarily just the reports, but was there any determination of what kept beheading them? Or was it completely unknown of what caused that action in the first place? Did it seem like a normal weapons damage, or did it seem as you said earlier, with them just looking like they appeared, did it just weirdly seemed like they were detached and no actual damage was done?
No. Clearly a magical sword. Or maybe a magical knife, or a magical weapon. Magical blade of some sort.
There was a
Not
residue of
much.
some sort.
It's too clean for just a run-of-the-mill iron sword that you'd pick up from the blacksmith.
A vorpal blade!
And I am assuming
That's what I'm panicking about.
And I am assuming then that there is no one in town who has much knowledge of that, so magic has not been a good path of investigation for you? Or has it been tried and unable to find sources?
Tried and, well, dead end. It's the main reason why we keep, well, checking people coming in and going out. Adventurers coming in, mercenaries, those sort of things. Those are the types of people that normally will carry these, fancy schmancy blades and whatnot. I mean, look at yourself.
Valor does chuckle and then take his hand and slide the hilt out ever so slightly so that they see the blade literally looks like it's made of starlight and says, I get your meaning. And then slips it back. He doesn't push it out far, he just pushes it out enough so you can see just the very end of the blade that's connected to the hilt and then just pops it back in.
Now that's not something I've ever seen before.
It's a unique one, yeah.
But to the best of my knowledge, that's, well, all I really know.
I have one more question for you. And
What?
it's not a bad question. And I'm assuming this might be a no answer from you, but was there anything weird that you noticed as walking around as a normal person of the town who lives here? Has anything seemed off besides what's written in the investigations, besides what's noted down as part of each of these scenes you've come across? People in their daily lives see a lot, they know the place they live in, sometimes even weird stuff that you have found odd and out of place can tip the scales one way or another. Sometimes it's not important, sometimes it can be incredibly so.
Well, there was one time when I was helping with an investigation of, I believe, the third murder, and I could have sworn that I saw something shimmering in the grass. But my superior just brushed it off as me being a little heat-fogged.
Okay. Thank you. This is going to help a lot, at least for us to help you guys. We don't want anyone to get harmed just as much as you all don't. And I'm pretty sure you all want your town to go back to at least some sense of normalcy.
I'm just surprised that the captain even let you help out.
I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have if I might not have name-dropped the fact we work closely with one of the captains in the army.
He wasn't expecting special forces.
Well, now that you mention it, yeah, he has had quite... Yeah, fair enough.
So...
Oh, go ahead.
But I can also understand his hesitation, Especially with individuals, you can't always verify whoever they might not be, and especially if you've had a hard time since this point with individuals who think they know what they're doing. I can understand his gruffness. Does it help? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Or can it? Who's to say? But I can at least understand where he might be coming from.
With that being said, we're going to move back to you, Azure. From what you can find, once the Count's daughter was killed, that's when all, like, the really harsh restrictions coming in, coming out, was put into place. You know, everyone being searched, everyone... all the reason why a lot of adventurers coming in, even, were even set away. It was basically, the second the Count's daughter died, the town almost went as close to a full lockdown as you could get. As far as why it hasn't gone and gathered a response from anyone else, Fayboro, being the closest major settlement, has a lot of their own stuff to deal with. Swindon doesn't want to wait, and it's also fairly normal for these towns to have their own autonomy. There is no sort of, like, checking into Dad back at Dawnbreak. Is that, Azure? God damn it, did I say all that when he wasn't here?
He probably brought his headset with him.
Hey,
No.
Sparky. Sparky.
Yeah? Yeah?
I have my headset. I'm always listening. You do not have to ask. Just reminder, like, I'm not upset. I'm hearing everything you're saying. If I haven't, I will ask you. But assume I've heard everything. It's just taking a second because I might be, like, it's not Zeph zoomies. It's, I might be walking because I need to, like, get up and think. So with that being known, would it still be unusual? Would Azure know if it would be still unusual for nothing to be going, for no external response from some authority, for multiple noble, like, families experiencing murders? Like,
That is pretty normal. For what you know, because obviously you have grown up here, yes, nobles are sometimes tight-knit, but there's also a lot of really subtly vicious rivalries. And there's a lot of moments where the misfortune of one noble family is capitalized on by another. You know, to get their head in the game, to give themselves more status, more reputation. In Swindon, the families may be a little bit more buddy-buddy because they actually know each other and run the place together. But when you start looking outside of that sphere of influence, most other towns that have, you know, counts, barons, all that sort of thing, they usually are more self-serving. There might be, you know, a few that would make a good show of, like, oh, it's terrible, it's a tragedy, you know, something needs to get done, this criminal needs to get caught, and then would just go back to sipping on a glass of wine. it's more performative than actual concern. For even just Fayborough. For any nobles living in Fayborough, any sort of misfortune that falls upon the nobility of Swindon is just, tough shit. Guess we're gonna have a better year this time.
Fuck you. And hang on, for context of why I say that.
I didn't hear you. It didn't pick up.
No, I said flat out fuck you. And the reason I said fuck you, hang on. The reason I say fuck you is because out of character, as the player, I'm hearing what you're telling Zeph, and I'm hearing what you're describing to me, and I'm just like, you motherfucker. But I can't say that, because Azure doesn't know shit until he opens the door at minimum. Fuck you.
Oh, because no one knows what Valor knows yet.
Yes, because I am speculating as a player. Mind you, so this is very out of character and has no bearing on Azure's behavior, because fuck metagaming, that's not fun. I'm seeing this shit and I'm squinting at you. I'm squinting at you so hard I'm firing lasers out of my eyes. Moving on. Anyways. So, okay. Let me... Alright. Is there something Azure would want to check further, or is this about what he would expect? I can't think of any additional follow-up, thing that Azure would have based on this information. Yes, it reinforces sort of what he knows, and it sheds light on things. I think knowing how the Count behaved, I think he has a vague feeling that there might be a missing piece, but he has no basis for that feeling, or no logical basis for that feeling. And because of that, there's not a specific thing he could think of to look for that would confirm one way or another. So I think, absent anything else, he would want to go out and probably confer with everyone, Valor included, since Valor wasn't in the room, and so has no knowledge of unless somebody else has told him of what has been found as a whole. I think that is a reasonable thought process for Azure in this moment.
Right.
It's not, I need to know what Zeph knows because then I can do things. It's, Azure's a bard. He's not an investigator. He's had to do some stuff like this, but he's no investigator. So, he will go.
So anyway, Tsalia bursts out the door and accidentally slams the door into the back of the Lord's head.
Wow.
By the gods!
Wait, does that actually happen?
Yes.
I like to think Valor's standing next to where the door would actually hit, so he just gets smacked straight in the nose, ah!
Hey, sorry.
Oh,
Are you okay?
You're alright.
that was my muzzle. Oh. He kind of bends over a little bit as he's clutching his nose. He squints his eyes. Fuck.
Well...
Wait, did he just drop an F-bomb?
Yes. That was in character.
Well, we've done looking into the murder victims, and I think I might know where the next murder victim might be.
Wonderful. I also have information like share.
Do you need a moment?
Yes, please. Ow.
Would you
Well-
like to Azure, do you think you should do something?
I don't think my nose is broken. It's just hard.
Well, seeing as you're done in the archive, I'm gonna go back to my normal duties. So,
Actually, who would be second in command since the captain is indisposed?
he
Or
looks.
can we just go intrude on the captain?
You could, if you find them, then yeah, you could absolutely intrude on the captain.
I don't want to intrude on the captain, gonna be honest.
I'd rather work with the second in command because I feel like they will be more willing to help.
Private looks towards the guy at the desk. He shakes his head. Most everyone is out on the town, either doing the investigation or, well, working the borders.
Then I have a request. One request for you, if you will.
See what I can do.
Spread the word amongst the guards. I believe the next murder will happen near the library.
I'll see what I can do.
It's not a fact, but best educated guess Tsalia is decently good at that when it comes to her investigations. So while not confirmed, it's a good idea to at least have an eye out around there.
Go. Like I said, I'll let everyone here know. Good luck. Hopefully you have more success than they do.
Thank you.
So anyway, I think we're standing on top of a giant pentagram.
Oh, wonderful.
That's the upside down star one, right?
A pentagram can actually be right side up, but an inverted pentagram is generally the symbol for the hellish entities.
Wait, so the star one is just the official name?
Yes.
The pentagram's just the official name for the star. Okay.
Yes.
It's like calling a 5-sided object a 6-sided object a hexagon, right? Is it similar or different?
Yes. It's exactly the same.
All right.
I have some news if you would like to have it. So as we leave this building,
That would be very nice. Let's walk. Let's talk in the walk.
I imagine this is the door.
Out the door.
Go.
alright.
We're going.
Cool. So, would you like to know what I learned,
Yes.
or would you like to go first?
You go first. We can walk. We'll head towards the center of town first.
Okay. So, for the most part, location-wise, the guards didn't necessarily know anything unique about them. The biggest link between them, as you probably know, was they were all on the outside borders of the town, relatively. Nothing was towards the center of town. There wasn't necessarily anything else besides the nobility that linked all of the victims together, was another thing that he noted. Though you probably also found that in the reports. The Count's daughter started sneaking out of the house around the time the first murder happened, which was the only unusual thing they could note at the time that all of this started. There have been no weird magical effects throughout the town in general. No lights, no noises, no weird changes in pressure. But some of the more interesting information was around all of the sites. It just seemed that the bodies appeared dead. There were no tracks coming to or from the bodies. There were no disturbances of a body being moved. It was just the body laying on the ground with the head nearby, with nothing showing a dragging or a rolling or a falling over, just the disturbance of them laying in the grass, like they had appeared like that.
To be clear, the heads have always been missing.
Yes.
We don't have any heads at all whatsoever. Somebody else is collecting those, correct?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. That was my bad. No dripping blood from heads being taken away, right?
No.
Like, no tracks whatsoever. They're all just no tracks whatsoever. No blood, no footprints, no rustling of the grass, no nothing. The bodies appeared there with no head.
Fascinating.
Also, they were able to determine that the blade, or the weapon that did this, was a blade of some sort, and it was magical in nature because every single cut made was completely a perfect, clean slice. There were no jagged edges, no random cuts, perfectly across.
Interesting.
The last thing that I picked up, and I would like to see if that might be our first spot of note, is that guard specifically, the one I was talking to while he was helping with the third investigation, thought he saw something shimmering in the grass nearby, but he was told that it was nothing, and just to write off that he was just seeing things. But he thinks he saw a shimmer in the grass at the location of the third murder.
Fascinating. So it seems that our captain may very well be involved in this.
Maybe not. Not for certain. Though I did want to ask if there was the possibility of you taking a closer look at those runes at the site to see whether or not it gives any indication as to how the bodies might have gotten there.
That is a good point.
Because it doesn't make sense for there to be runes around the area when there's also no disturbance of the body. And no tracks, as if no one was there.
Should we hit up the latest one then? See it, look around?
That is probably a good idea. There is something I'm wondering, though. The epicenter of these happenings, if they're just appearing, they've got to be happening. They'll still be happening somewhere, right?
Probably.
Would it not make sense for it to be at the center?
I wouldn't know. Not generally my area of expertise.
Well, dumb question. Yes, it would be easier if it was at the center.
Makes
Generally, there's a range on these types of spells. The center of town, as we will stop in the square, I'm going to point down this side path, is directly over there, just behind a small house that appears to have some trees around it. However, I also noticed that the big shop is also technically within the epicenter.
The bazaar?
The bazaar. Might be worth talking to some bizarre people at some point. That laugh was me, not Tsalia.
I assumed. Might be a good point. So currently we have the center to check out. Possibly check out the third location as well. Anywhere else?
I'm not entirely sure checking out the possible murder site is going to be useful.
Is that not where the runes are located?
Well,
I also want to see whether or not the possible thing that the guard saw was a dead end or not. Whether that is still there. It might not be something. It might be something. It might be nothing. I'm not sure, but I at least want to check it out just to check it off as we don't have to worry about it.
That is a question. Are the runes already there before the body appears? Or are they there after the body appears?
The last possible site then might be another section to check near the library, as you suggested.
Might be a good idea. First, let us go to the most recent murder site. Or we
Do we
could
want-
go to the one before it. It probably has less guards.
Probably. I don't think any of us want to be running into the captain right about now.
We should also have somebody go talk with Azure's county friends.
Azure, what do you think of all this?
Hearing, I assume this you've said everything that Valor had heard from the guard. Yes.
Yes, Valor had stated all of this. This conversation is vocal, if a bit hushed, to make sure people around us don't hear us.
There exists the possibility that there could be someone else. However, no, not however, hang on. There exists the possibility it could be another person. At this time, the captain is the highest on the list of suspects because while at the point of the Count's daughter being killed, everything locked down, everything else doesn't make sense.
How do you mean?
Either there is a commoner playing on the fact that the nobles will absolutely gut each other, or just not care if a competitor has troubles, and are counting on the fact that none of the nobles who have lost children will actually engage outside forces beyond their own household until it is too late. Or this is the captain counting on that fact, then dragging his feet on the investigation until this is complete. Neither case necessarily points to the individual who is suspected as being the puppet master. They could be, or they may not. Someone is counting on the dynamics of, or the interaction dynamics of the nobles in this area to pull this off. If this was
right.
Dawnbreak, this would be dramatically different, I suspect. He'll look over at Valor and everyone else, but barring that, this is somebody who knows this area, knows how the nobles will react. They also know that other forces would be engaged if it was a greater threat, given they are closer to the border, but as long as it's nobles feuding with nobles, no one cares. Except the nobles,
correct.
but no one's going to do that.
You're correct, and he's also been dismissing possible magical evidence. Perhaps we should go to the most recent murder site and see if our friend is there.
No.
No.
Before, I have a plan.
He's gonna look over at Valor. He
Valor
being
has
Azure is
his-
gonna look over at Valor. Like, it's I've said my piece, but I don't know that this is the play.
Valor has this suffering look on his face that just reads, I don't want to have to talk to him. I really don't want to have to talk to him.
That's the best part! You don't have to talk to him!
I don't have to talk to him.
Because
Yeah,
I have
Azure's just
detect
gonna...
magic.
No. I mean, yes, but no. But yes. Azure will
If
just
he has
sigh.
magic on him, I will know.
Hang on. Yeah, but if we do that and you're wrong, and he knows you've done this, and that you're thinking he's at fault, you're going to jail. At minimum.
I feel like let's put the captain off to the side for now. Before the end of the day, we'll go find him again to test your theory. But at this point in time, actually no, it is the end of the day.
Wow.
I put this in the chat, but I have adjusted the kind of time a little bit because I had a little bit of a reassess. I
Mhm.
feel it probably wouldn't be as late as it was.
Mhm.
It's probably more around like 5-ish, right? I will also say it's probably about this time as you guys are like walking down the street that Fane and Ren finally find you because you guys had them like go take care of the civilians before all of you got taken away. There you are! We have been looking all over the place for you.
They
I
were in
think we
jail.
made a big enough fuss that you could have figured that much out.
Tsalia is correct. They were in jail.
Congratulations.
Granted, they were only in jail for about 5 minutes, which I think is a record.
For me,
The
yeah.
god,
Oh, wow.
the god captain is possibly a cultist.
Oh, joy!
It is a
God,
possibility,
another one.
but not confirmed.
Also, I do also want to point out, I have invisibility.
That is true.
Yeah.
I can just pass by the guard captain with sect magic pulled up.
Nope. Both of them are concentration.
They are?
Yep. Unless you've got a specific racial feature, some of those make you go invisible, but those don't last more than a turn.
Right.
Well, we're following you, so...
Hmm.
I'm liking the idea of investigating the center of the town. We can do that on the way to the 5th potential site.
Yes, because I think the best thing would be to confirm or deny Tsalia's point of whether or not those runes are there before things happen. And if you're correct on the spot of which the next one's happening, it would at least, if they're there, we have a little bit more information, I think.
You know what I could do?
Uh-huh.
I could cast divination.
Uh-huh.
Is this man evil? Yeah.
I could just ask, is man evil? I could.
That is a
the mirror.
yes or no question.
Should
As a
I?
question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days.
Which one am
Does
I
it take
thinking of?
into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as casting additional spells?
The question I would probably ask, because I don't think you can just ask, is man evil? Because it's asking more so about events. I would be asking, will he destroy the town?
Is this actually, like, is this...
No.
I can't
We're in
tell
the
if,
middle
like...
of the street.
Yeah, I can't tell if, like, this is still you guys planning this out, or if... Because it
We're
went completely dead silent.
I am asking everybody else. Do you guys think it's a good idea?
It's definitely a possibility, because at least that way, if it's somewhat of a positive answer, we can be a little more proactive in figuring stuff out about him. But if there's also the more negative response or a not what we're looking for, we can not necessarily take him off, but at least possibly look at other points of evidence before attempting to go towards him. It like lessens the in our lives. It might lessen the possibility of how much we think he is integral to this.
So we need to go talk to the Count to get information on other noble elven people, at very least, and we need to go to the center of town. So, should we send? Now this is out. This is completely not in Tsalia's train of thought. Ren was there when Valor was talking to Person. Ren doesn't necessarily know, but you could still ask Ren to go speak to the person that Azure was cheering up. Which is a possibility. While everybody else, goes to the center of town, investigates around here, and makes their way up to the next possible murder scene.
I like the idea of splitting the party.
What was that?
I like the idea of splitting the party.
It's worked
Okay.
out well before.
It really has.
Yeah.
I feel What are the two ideas we have currently?
We need to talk to the Count because we need to know possible victims.
Let's split the party in half. Azure, Valor, go and take Thane down to talk to Count Boy, while Tsalia, Vint, and Ren all head toward the center of town to investigate there, and then we'll meet up at just outside the library. That way we
Alright.
can investigate the next potential site.
Sounds good to me.
Away we go. Are we going to the bazaar event?
If you want to check there first, but I imagine it'll...
It's
I'm
it's
willing-
all in really the same area, so let's just go over here.
Yeah, let's center.
And then Azure and Valor are going down to Count Caldwin.
With Thane.
We took Ren solely because he's the healer. He is our healer. If we get damage, he heals.
Okay. So, we're going to start with the tavern.
Not that kind of tavern.
Why do I hear swords?
Who's fucking sharpening their goddamn sword in here?
Hello, do not. Okay, there we go. Okay.
It's just the cook sharpening his knife.
Valor will turn towards Azure and go, so,
Who the fuck are we
Good.
looking for?
who are we looking for?
Is Mans in here?
You see him far back, right at the table that he was at last time.
Asher's just gonna, like, hand close to chest, point to the Count.
Ah, since you have spoken with him, do you want to approach him first?
You get beers. I will approach.
Wait, what kind
Just-
of beers?
Just get some beverages. I don't care.
Fair enough. Valor will walk to the counter to get. He looks back over at the table, looks at Fane real quick.
Just get a regular ale. I don't think.
I'm asking, do you want anything? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh,
Valor wasn't asking what type. Valor was, how many am I getting? He'll pick up, at least for the moment, 3.
All right. I believe the mugs of ale are. Let me check here. It's only a couple silver.
Okay.
Check. Was it not? It's okay. It's not. It fucking. Yep. Oh, no. Mug. A mug of ale is 4 copper each, so 12 copper, or, 1 silver, 2 copper.
Alright. I hand the money.
The barmaid takes it, nods, and fills up some mugs, and hands them over to you.
Valor will take all 3, look at Fane, and head towards the direction that Azure went.
So, we're dealing with another one of these.
Another one of these what?
Murstone.
Kind of? Maybe. We'll see.
Joy.
Do you remember our story about Dunwalt, like the very tail end of Dunwalt?
No, that's not the name. Was that the name of that town?
It was. Yep, it was
was.
Dunwalt.
Do you remember our story about that one, the very tail end of what happened?
Fair enough.
That's mixed with Marrowstone.
Boy. Okay. You approach, and the Count looks up, kind of glassy-eyed towards all 3 of you. But there's a little bit of recognition when he notices you again, Azure. It's not that he perks up, but it is a noticeable shift in his demeanor.
Is Valor behind him at this point?
What? I can't hear you.
Oh, God damn it.
Blue.
Is Valor behind him at this point? I was
I'd say
off
so,
at a
yeah.
weird angle.
I'd say so.
Cool. He's gonna reach out behind him, basically beer me, but more polite than that. Just in a gesture of beer me, sort of, ale me, whatever you want to call it.
I'm imagining the hand behind it, beer me. He looks over at Valor when it doesn't immediately walk into his palm. Valor raises an eyebrow. He goes, gesture of beer me, please. And
No,
then
he
Valor
would have
gets
led
it
with
to
that.
him.
He knows Valora well enough by now. He's not dumb. Azure's not an idiot. He knows better than to just beer me, and that's why I said it's basically beer me, just not as blunt. It's
Just polite.
yes, it is. Please pass me the ale, because he knows if he says beer me, at best he won't get it. At worst, it's going in his face, and not the way he wants to go in his face, as in down his mouth or down in his mouth. So, on his mouth, yes. In it, no.
Valor does hand him the ale.
Cool.
I so love how easily we get fucking derailed.
Yeah, not really derailed. Just it do be
It's
how this party interacts. No. Let's see.
Welcome back, my blue friend.
I appreciate it. I wish I were back under more celebratory circumstances. Unfortunately, myself and the party I'm with, we need your help. Not in a... We are not demanding your help. We are not... If it is help you can give, it is most appreciative. I do not desire nor mean to impose, and I'm very sorry that I even have to be here at all. We are trying...
Go ahead.
Valor does
We
put
think-
a hand. Sorry.
Do you want to go first, or...
Valor puts a hand on Azure's arm in this, if you wish me to speak up, just, like... He's effectively motioning, like, if you want me to say it, I can. If you don't know, like, if you want me to, you know?
There's gonna be a subtle shake of his head. The Count doesn't know the others. He would, and Azure, with what he knows, Azure would rather communicate this himself. I think he would feel that to put this on Valor. Not that it would be problematic to do so to Valor, but rather out of respect for this man, this needs to come from Azure.
Valor will nod his head once and then take his hand off Azure's arm.
We believe, we have a suspicion that there is a grave problem hang on, I'm trying to think how to word this. With what has been happening and some things that the party has that the other members of our party have found, we believe there is a greater threat to this town than the god truly realizes. Because of this, we are trying to accelerate our fact-finding. Unfortunately, we have drawn the ire of the captain, who is this maybe in a otherwise reasonable reaction, stonewalling us and treating us as some band of mercenaries, which, if I was dealing with a bunch of people trying to solve my problems and expecting a payout, I could understand that. We are not that. We have the credentials to prove it. He does not appear to be interested in listening, but I digress. This is either a problem you have dealt with, or you know this man well enough that you do not need to hear this from me, and I apologize. We are trying to... We believe there is an attempt at a summoning. There seems to be runes that indicate this, but they are not magically concealed. They're not visible of absent magical means. I also have suspicions as to how your daughter might have been involved, and I'm very, very sorry I even have to say this in light of the tragedy you are still... in light of that tragedy, I am not here to open wounds. I am not here to, in any way, shape, or form, drown you in more sorrow.
You see, he straightens up, and you watch as he now assesses you with a very sharp and critical gaze. He doesn't seem like the drunkard. He seems very professional. What can I help you with?
At this point, Azure will glance at Valor, glance back to the Count, and say, "This is Valor. He is the fighter of our party. I believe he can better relay what we have found, or relay what we have found as good, if not better, than me. And I defer to him for that reason. You have only my word to rely on. I ask that you trust him, that you trust the words he has to say. I vouch for what he has to say, but I also understand if...
You see he holds up a hand. You have made your points. I trust the man who actually reached out to help me. Valor, is it?
Yes.
Come. Do not be strangers. Sit. Drink. Let's speak.
Valor will politely take a seat. And he does put the other ale in the middle of the table, not necessarily giving it to anyone, but giving the indication, if you wish for it, you are allowed to grab it.
Oh yeah, he takes it like without a hesitation.
Just for context, Coffee, or anyone, you basically, when talking to the count just now, you didn't necessarily say any details, just we're here and we want to help, TLDR.
It is that, and the yes, it is that. He did drop the details of we have confirmed infernal runes, which appears to imply a summoning.
Okay.
Or indicate a summoning, not imply, indicate. Like, clearly, like, we know from Tsalia, these are for summoning. This is not good. So he's more or less communicated, the details of which, obviously, he's said that. In terms of details, that's where he's deferring to Valor and for sharing further.
Okay. So Valor will take a second to collect his thoughts, and from what we have seen, and as you probably know, most of what has happened has been around the edges of the town. All noble women you are aware. Some other things we have come to suspect, or at least come to know about, is the bodies didn't seem to have any disturbance around them, which indicates at least the assumption of a magical teleportation of sorts. At least that is our thought at the moment. No tracks, no blood drippings, no nothing. There is also there is also the fact of the weapon being magical. It is somewhat known, and our own wizard within our group, who is an expert when it comes to monsters, beast, and other dangerous magical effects, she has come to note the possibility of where the next one might happen, and she and another two are currently checking out a possible location to where all of this might be happening from. We suspect that the murders aren't happening in the locations they happen, possibly. We still need to check out the runes specifically for more information, but she should be able to translate them reasonably enough.
And where do I factor in all of this?
We were... Correct me if I'm wrong. We were, what were we asking for again?
I believe we just need his authority to bypass the captain of the guard.
I also wanted to have a sort of list on elven nobles, if he could provide it, for possible victims.
Okay. And then I know Valor has his own question, which is, did you ever know why your daughter was sneaking out of the house this past month, before the tragedy? What?
I feel like that'd be unrelated. I don't imagine it's too closely related.
And for all we know, she could have been part of the cult and was willingly sacrificed.
Valor wants to confirm it was nothing. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Valor wants to confirm that we can leave it to the side, instead of leaving it to the side and then realizing, oh no, that was kind of important. So Valor's gonna... Okay, quick question. Why do we need to bypass the captain of the guard? Explain that to me real quick.
Because he's possibly a cultist.
There's that, and also, like, he's
Just a dickhead.
a dickhead and not particularly cooperative.
Currently, okay. Currently
although-
at... Sorry.
Although
My
we were slightly to blame, it's still stonewalling pretty hard.
When it comes to the captain of the guard, though, have we explicitly been told any information by him that we can or cannot do within the town itself? Like, is he limiting where we go? Is he telling us we can't go to the investigation sites? Or is this a just in case he tries to?
Just in case.
Okay. First off, if you have ideas, there is the possibility of, if you know any of the noble individuals in town who might become further victims, the possibility of alleviating that or giving an idea of who they might go for next. Second, well, our first meeting with him was a little rocky. We want only to help, but are concerned that the captain of your guard might impede that in some way. And we don't know what the repercussions that might have in the future if he does decide to take that action. And thirdly, and I apologize for asking this, but I have heard that your daughter, before all of this, started leaving the house at night, which I was told was unusual for her. Can you confirm that? And do you know what she was doing? Were you ever able to know that?
You see a flicker of grief wash over him. And he takes a heavy swig from his mug. Love. She fell in love with a merchant lad. I didn't see eye to eye with her. I forbade seeing. If I hadn't been so, if I had just. You see, he downs the rest of the fucking ale.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever he's going to say, it causes him too much pain. He just washes it away with. If you've got a quill and paper, I'll fill out what you need.
Valor does take out the emerald pen and a piece of paper.
And while he fills out all that information and, gives you a passage to allow to supersede the asshole, we move over to Vint, Tsalia, and Ren.
One more quick thing. This isn't going to do anything lore-wise, so you can do them. But I just want to say that as he's writing all of that stuff, Valor does bow his head a little bit and start saying a prayer in Celestarian under his breath. But it is very clear to the people watching that that is what he's doing, is he's praying.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. So, what exactly are we looking for over here? Just to be clear?
If you see a devil, that would be helpful, but mainly cultist and cult activity.
Oh, yes, of course. Let me just, take out my cultist hunting spyglass and... Oh, look at there! There's a devil right there! And he's pointing at Vint.
I think that's an elemental, Ren.
I suppose this thing's all out of whack. Well, anyways... Do you really think that a cult will be just functioning out and about in broad daylight?
No, which is why I'm going to walk up against the walls of houses with detect magic.
I'm gonna look down any and every fucking well in this area. I'm climbing down them too. Like,
There's
fuck
also
you.
a very small forest over there. I'm looking over there too.
Well, you. Do you want me to just make sure that any passing villagers don't think you're mentally deranged?
Why would you convince them I'm not?
Because I don't want you to get arrested permanently.
Listen, if we get arrested again, then the captain is probably a cultist anyway, so...
Or you're acting deranged out in public and are becoming a safety risk.
We are performing an investigation.
I'll make sure no one thinks you're deranged.
Talk to the locals who pass by, and if they live in this area, ask them if they've seen anything strange besides the vampire in broad daylight rubbing up against houses.
And the Genasi walking up and down wells.
Yes.
Yes, of course, I will do my best.
You know, I was looking at him like an idiot for a bit, and then he said it like that, and now I feel like an idiot myself.
Hey, it's everything can be stupid in if you put it the right way or the wrong way.
Well, hopefully I'm climbing down wells and finding secret entrances to fucking secret cult lairs.
So yes, detect magic, and I'm just going to sort of investigate houses that look as though they've been used a bit
Yep.
much.
Okay, give me investigation.
And I've got the lantern of revealing going as I walk around.
You can also give me an investigation or perception.
I'm investigating things as much as I would like the additional +1. I am investigating, not perceiving. This isn't a very good number.
Well,
Then
Mhm.
the wells are wells.
There are no secret tunnels within them?
There are no secret tunnels, there are no secret switches, there is nothing revealed by the lantern.
okay, but has he gone into the wells and swam around in the dark?
Tsalia, as for you, you don't really pick up anything.
Mhm.
You're able to find some houses that look a little bit more decrepit, a little bit more suspicious, but either you'd have to break in because it's way out of your range, or there just isn't anything in there.
Damn windows!
The windows and the doors are thin enough. Even some of the walls. Not all homes are made out of stone. Some of them are made out of wood.
About how long would it take for us to go from here to the library?
I would say maybe half an hour.
Half an hour?
Half an hour.
Perfect!
Probably like at max half an hour. It's
Perfect! I'm casting augury.
okay.
Will I find runes in that area?
So, I want you
four-
to describe.
The four options is wheel woe, and nothing.
No, yeah. I want you to just describe what you're doing when you're like, using augury, right? Just describe the process.
Well, you see, I have an obsidian mirror.
Mm-hmm.
What I do is I sit
Shake it like an
down.
eight ball.
I sit down as though I'm going to go into a meditative trance, per se. I take this mirror, and I basically put it where my eyes are, and just stare. Unblinking. It's not glamorous, but this is how divination works.
There's no flickers of magic. And after a moment, wheel and
woe. Mm-hmm. So I asked if I would find... My question was if I would find runes in that area. Yes?
yes.
Real and woe. I'm going to take a guess and say there are not runes there yet. That's how I might interpret it. What do you think? I'll talk to Vint about my vision.
Vint.
Wait, did he? No, that was Valor. But he did also
Oh no,
just say
yeah,
BRP.
Vint said BRB.
Yeah, damn it.
Well, shit.
I guess I'm waiting for a little bit.
What a fucker.
There's nothing around here. Nothing in the houses. I want to check the woods before we leave. Wheel and woe.
Well, luckily enough, no one noticed or thought you insane. But...
I'm back.
there we go.
My fucking organs are rebelling against me. Holy shit.
Ripple.
Catch him up to speed.
I had
Alright!
my headset on.
Oh, so you know, so I, that's, what is your pin?
I think, like, I know a little bit about magic. I think you're better on this stuff. It's I'm willing to bet it's yet to happen. But we should totally check out this little forest here.
We absolutely should. Anyway, now Ren approaches.
Well, no one thought you were insane, but there have been some odd rumors about strange noises at night, but no one can quite seem to trace where they're coming from.
In this area.
This area.
I think we're on the right track, Vint.
And I think the woods are looking a lot better. Or worse.
It's
Probably
the only
worse.
place I can tell. Make sure you have your lantern.
Yep, it's on.
To the woods, and then to the library.
Fucking thing lasts for 6 hours unless I turn it off.
God damn.
It's a good fucking lantern.
And it runs off of oil. Like, And that shit's cheap.
So, this is less of like an actual forest and more just a small scattering of trees. I don't remember what the actual terminology is.
Hang on. I will look it up really.
I know in my small town with the fucking woods in it, it was just the woods.
Because it's not big enough or, wide enough to be considered woods. It's just a patch. And you can actually search it relatively quickly, even without an investigation with perception. And unfortunately, really still isn't anything that pops up that seems to be notable. Just trees.
Huh. Maybe you were right about the bazaar, but it's close enough to the center, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said we investigate that, and then if we turn up empty, we'll head to the library. And if things go to shit, we cause an explosion.
All right. So a forest can be as small as 50,000 square feet. But that's square.
I cannot perceive how big that is in my mind's eye.
That is a forest. Yeah, that's bigger than this town.
Hang on.
There's a specific term that I remember, but it's on the tip of my tongue. I know exactly what it is, but I just can't fucking summon the. But you move on to the bazaar, and well, the general store, whatever you want. It's busy. It's packed. There's people from all over the place, going in, going out, buying, selling. It's honestly a bit of a madhouse.
That is a 225 foot square. I think.
Just like the Merchants Guild, the bazaar is packed.
We weren't at the Merchants Guild.
Oh yeah, you're right. You weren't.
Ren was, so he says that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, it is packed. It's busy. There's everyone moving everywhere. Merchants calling out their wares.
You got the tech magic up?
I do now.
Okay.
You definitely get a lot of magical items.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was afraid of. The thing is, as I do detect items, I can sort of like select items to not appear on detect magic.
Okay.
I can ignore items. So I'm going to walk around the bazaar, and anything that's obviously magical, I'm getting rid of. This is probably sort of an investigation, or perhaps perception.
Yep, absolutely give me investigation, perception, or even arcana.
Since we're looking for summoning type shit, we can just blacklist everything that isn't conjuration.
You're right. Okay, anything that is not conjuration is gone.
You pick up nothing.
Really?
All right. What schools would be closely related then? I suppose that when the Baron summoned the Bone Devil, it transformed the area, right? That's transmutation.
Transmutation.
Here, give me arcana, perception, or investigation.
I'll do it in best. 14. Damn.
I would say you probably spend a good bit of time walking up and down, probably browsing the aisles, and there's nothing at all similar to the magic of the sigils that you've already found.
Mm-hmm.
the essence that you felt when you discovered that sigil the first time. It's unforgettable. It is like the magical equivalent of a miasma. It's something so pungent, so putrid that you could sniff it out from miles away like a bloodhound. But it is not here at any place in the bazaar.
I would like to do a persuasion check to sort of talk gossip.
Okay. Alright. You're just kind of...
Talking about gossip. Any rumors about new new merchants moving in and selling strange wares, or somebody having an affair, stuff like that.
Give me a persuasion.
17, not bad.
Yeah, not bad. There's definitely some rumors of a couple nobles that aren't being super faithful to their significant others. There's a few rumors of upcoming merchants, even in the bazaar, that are touting spectacular wares. Though the running theory is that it's more scam.
Snake oil.
Yeah. If, however, the intention is just trying to find anything that might pique interest, or it just feels like standard run-of-the-mill everyday chatter. There's nothing that feels unusual.
I have a weird theory.
I think I also have a weird theory.
I've been watching Full Metal Alchemist recently.
Oh yeah, that's oh boy.
Do you know the theory I've come up with?
No, I probably don't, but you share yours and then I'll share mine.
I'll share my theory in song. Secret tunnels, secret tunnels.
Oh yeah, I was definitely on that.
secret.
I fucking hate you guys.
tunnels.
I hate. You know what? Fucking rocks fall. Both of you die. Fucking hate you. Fucking hate you. The entire town blows up. Only fucking the tavern
Damn.
survives.
Yay!
Tsalia.
Yes.
We're looking in the center of the potential summoning circle.
You're
What if
thinking what
it's-
I'm thinking?
Outside.
How do you mean?
What if they want the circle in their front lawn instead of right on top of them?
Makes sense.
What locations in town are outside of the range? The lighthouse.
The lighthouse are cursed!
God damn it! It strikes again.
And the church.
Yeah. Oops, I did not do that correctly.
Oh man, the lighthouse and the church, it's just like Mirrorstone all over again.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, if you do-
gamer.
If you do make it a pentagon, then the only real places would be the church and the lighthouse.
Because it's
Or these
just
docks up
outside
here.
the jewelry store. It's just like the library, the merchant guild. That shit's just outside the range.
Personally, I kind of imagine the actual pentagram would, I've fucked up already. Hang on, I start over. I personally think the actual pentagram will be slightly over and more on top of the, church. And this is the true pentagram. but the victim was found slightly over. So, I definitely think that is going to get completely fucked up. Goes straight through the prison. We should definitely go look at the church at some point. But that is a very... That's a very good... That's a very... Hey, hold on a second. What was the local church? What was the local church worship?
Nanera.
Nanera? Who were the victims? Mother Thalia... They worshipped Mother Thalia and...
One was Nanera.
Nanera?
Two of them were Nanera. One of them was Mother Thalia.
Who was the Thalia? Which victim was
I don't think
Thalia?
it matters. I don't think it matters.
Enough. I don't know. That two is coincidence. 3 is a pattern. I'm curious who the third was.
Stop murdering the followers of my mom and my aunt.
Yeah,
We should go to the church.
Perhaps. You'd think the church would raise more of a... Yeah, wait a minute. Nobles, fair enough. They've got their scuffles. Why is the church not raising a fucking hoopla about this?
Maybe they probably don't know anything about the fucking dark magic going on.
The
Right.
fucking phone. Hold, hang on.
Hanging on.
There's obviously evil magic at work here, right?
Copy.
Yes.
Surely, if the fucking guard captain is worth his salt and not evil, he would have gone to the church for the possibility of ritualistic killings. If he's gotten them involved and they've detected nothing, that is way more suspicious.
All right. I think we wait basically outside of the bazaar on the road towards the library and redirect the party towards the church.
I think that's a good idea.
It is a good idea because there's a follow of Nanera in our group.
Yes.
All
We'll
right,
be
so
waiting
we're-
right here. Oops. I'm still sussy of that lighthouse. Legitimately, I'm sus of the lighthouse.
like it's just like the church. It's outside the range.
every single time we come into a new town, we look at the lighthouse. If it's on the coast, it becomes our new level 20 assassin black dragon.
So, Vint, Tsalia, you guys are waiting here?
Yes.
Give me a perception.
A perception.
21.
13. Why am I rolling 4s?
Because 4 is the number of death.
I've rolled 2
You're
4s
just
and
die.
2 5s this session.
Why is
You're
the guard
destined to
captain over
die.
there? Why is the guard captain leaving the bazaar?
Follow that
Guard
man!
captain,
I will cast Disguise Self and follow.
Wait, let Sparky say what he was saying. Let Sparky say what he was saying.
You see the guard captain come out from the side little fields down there.
Mhm.
Doesn't fucking notice you, and just continues down towards the prison.
Okay.
So he's absolutely a cultist, right?
He just came from not the latest murder site, but the spot we were just fucking investigating.
Indeed.
Ren, hit up the tavern. We're going back.
Understand? I will go as fast as I can.
Poof, I'm gone.
I will cast Disguise Self so I don't look like me.
And you
I
guys
look
are-
like Mint. Vint, but with green eyes and a handlebar mustache.
You guys are heading back towards the center area.
Yes.
Yep, we're following this guy.
Oh, you're following it. I thought you were like heading back from where he came from.
Yeah, because he just came from over here and he's heading towards the prison. We know his destination,
True.
more than likely. We want to know where the fuck he came from. So we go We go where he came from, and I'm following the fucking tracks to the best of my fucking ability. Although I imagine, you know,
It's
it won't
probably
be easy.
survival, maybe investigation.
Yeah, give me a survival. You're
Okay.
tracking, so it would be survival.
Which of us is better at this?
I have a +5.
I will assist you. Because mine is just my wisdom.
18.
All right, you are able to follow it back to this house.
It's in the range. What horse shit is this?
Fucking knew it.
This time, the door is slightly ajar.
Time for some breaking and entering.
Stop. I will check for traps. A fucking ajar door?
But we could go down the chimney.
I'm gonna check for traps, and then we go down the chimney. Because we can both climb. I'm gonna check for traps. We're gonna say, fuck it, don't trust it anyways.
Roll me investigation. It's perfectly clear. The inside of the house is dark.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bit of a pungent smell, almost a chemical smell coming out.
Chemical?
Yeah.
Would you say it smells like a fart?
No. I know what you're I know what you're trying.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to. Yeah, no, it doesn't smell like a fart. That just caught me off guard. It's just like, but no, it does not smell like a fart.
I'm invisible. I'll follow you.
I'm gonna go inside very carefully, and I keeping my damn ears out for any, like, oh, you didn't spot this trap and triggered it.
When you enter, your foot steps into a puddle. It's just like this thin film wooden floorboards. Seems that a lot of the inside is kind of just wet.
I'm going to light the lantern. Tsalia becomes visible.
I just sort of look down at my hands and look and squint over at Vint. Good job.
Is there anything immediately obvious? Actually, I will dim the lantern because I can do that. Let me fucking read the exact wording. You can use an action to lower the hood, reducing the dim light in a 5-foot radius. Reducing the light to dim light in a 5-foot radius. Okay. So I can only see shit that's invisible if I bring the lantern right up next to it now.
I am right next to you.
For what it is worth, you do see that there's a doorway, or not a doorway, a hatch leading down into a cellar. And Tsalia, do you have Detect Magic up?
Nope,
Nope.
because I was invisible.
Yep.
Okay.
Hmm.
Just want to make sure.
Tsalia, you have magic that can communicate with people at a distance, right?
Let me check.
Is it prepared or not?
Yes, it is prepared.
All right. The instant shit goes sideways, you get the party up here right fucking now.
I will.
Do not follow. And I will go towards the hatch, check for traps.
I'm invisible again.
Alright, investigation.
And I'm keeping the lantern at a low light.
Mhm.
That's not a good number.
Nah, it's You don't see any traps. You just see more just like dripping liquid down. Just this clear, almost amber liquid dripping down. But from deep within the cellar, you see a faint red glow.
I don't like this.
Get the party here,
You
step
bastard.
outside. I'm going to unlock the thing.
I will step outside the house. I'm casting Sending to Valor.
Yee!
House, center of town. We found something. Come fast.
Guard
me a
captain
sec.
involved.
I need to check something.
What you checking, boy?
Understand. Tsalia, I need a perception.
11.
Oh shit.
Okay. When you normally cast Sending, what... Just describe how it usually feels.
I wouldn't. So, the way Sending works is I just talk to the air, effectively. And it just reaches the person I want.
It feels like the person is standing right across from you as you speak.
Yeah, that works.
Valor,
Yeah.
you're still just enjoying a nice drink with Count.
Fuck you.
Ah.
Oh. Well, we already sent Ren. It's just gonna be a little more delayed.
I did go outside the house, right?
Yes.
Question, how many hit points do you have?
Who? Me?
You. Yes, you.
Guess.
You don't know.
I have 54.
I also have that much. Because I still haven't recovered from being bitten. Although I suppose I could have short rested when we ate lunch. Although we were in a hurry.
I doubt a short rest would get rid of that.
No, right, because this is my current maximum hit points now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the door locked?
The door is not locked. It was actually open. I already said that it was.
Oh, it's open. Okay.
The hatch into the basement is open. And yeah. Tsalia.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, you feel a faint tug. And
A faint tug or hug?
tug.
Okay.
And your eyelids begin to droop.
Ah, shit. They can't sleep.
And suddenly, you're out.
Haven't gone in yet. Do I hear her flop over?
Give me a perception.
Oh my god. Because the next words out of my mouth were gonna be, I will go in. I wasn't gonna turn around. So I'm going in. If I don't perceive. Oh, thank God. Panic!
You don't hear anything.
Oh, boy, somebody's fucking with us.
All you see is the eerie red glow. well, Vint.
I will turn off the lantern entirely. Cast invisibility on myself. Wait, no, I don't have invisibility. I have fucking the thunder thingamajig. Shit! Never mind. Okay. I will very quietly go down. Because I didn't hear Tsalia fall unconscious.
As you climb down the ladder, it's almost a bit of a tricky climb because it's
Slick.
yeah, it's slick. It greases your hands, and again, once you drop down, it's just right into a shallow puddle. It's damp, and that chemical smell, that musty, just overpowering stench is just hitting. And you see there's just a faint curtain covering a doorway. Thin enough that light can come through just slightly, but thick enough that you can't see what's behind it.
I was about to say I turn around to look behind me, but Tsalia's watching the door. I will peek through the curtain.
You see a glowing circle in the floor, similar to the one that the Baron was standing in when you killed him.
Oh shit.
What languages do you know?
Common and giant.
Give me perception.
Oh boy. That's better.
On the far wall, barely illuminated by the light of the summoning circle, just enough for your dark vision to see it. There are words inscribed, just scratching the wall. Right above, a mass of crates filled with oil flasks. Too late, hero. And behind you, there's a wet thud as Tsalia, bound in manacles, her legs and her arms, is thrown down, and the ladder crumbles.
I move quick.
Do I take damage from this?
It's not high enough to really take damage, but you would be awake by now.
Okay.
You
I don't
have
have-
you have a gag on your mouth. And Vint, you see the faint glow of a match in the open cellar.
Can I cast Shatter in time to blow that out?
Let me see something here.
Because that is enough force to put out flames easily. If it can knock over furniture, it can put out flames.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Forgot. I need a wisdom save. As you are priming up, ready to launch out this shatter spell, some darker essence punches through you, fills you, and grips your heart in icy claws. As you are now put under the frightened effect. And you watch as the guard captain, flanked by 2 hooded individuals, looks at the match. Glory to the fallen gods, and drops it down the cellar.
I will shove as much of Tsalia into my bag of holding as I can in that time.
Okay. As for you, I'm going to need a dex save as fire quickly fills the chamber.
Where is Ren about this point, may I ask?
Ren is... I imagine you guys are probably just finishing up, right? You've gotten the list, you've gotten that stuff, and Ren is just bursting through the tavern, panting, fur-frazzled. And
door.
Vint, you are able to roll out of the way into a more concealed, dirt corner of the cellar, away from the majority of the now ignited oil, and cover yourself and Tsalia enough to avoid the brunt of this eruption of flame.
I tried to stuff Tsalia entirely in the bag.
Yeah, you have... It's basically like while you're tumbling away, you were just like shoving her in as much as possible, like just trying to not only just do that, but like cover her from the blast. And Valor, Azure, you see just this frazzled, wild look of Ren, and right as he's about to say, "We need you," at the center of the massive explosion.
Boom.
Wasn't my fault this time.
And I need to just move some stuff.
I imagine the explosion is large enough to put a crater in the town, shatter windows nearby, and rock the building they're in. Because
Yes.
crates of oil? Oh, yeah.
Hey, hey, Buzz.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're dead.
I have evasion.
Yeah, he has evasion, and he succeeded the save.
And
Which is why
I
said
put
he
you in
fucking-
the bag
he-
of holding
he
to save
fucking-
you.
He basically found, like, the one safe alcove and shoved himself as far deep in it that it allowed him to avoid the shockwave from the blast.
Like,
I don't fuck
You
with
might
rogues.
lose your feet to the flames, but that's about it. You can breathe. You don't need to breathe in the bag of holding. You're fine.
There is fire surrounding you, and you can see the open sky as clouds begin to roil and turn black and crimson.
Can we see this through the windows of the tavern?
Yes, you
Cool.
can.
Valor immediately, not even looking at what the things the Count's doing, up and out the door. Just starts.
Everyone-
Azur's right behind him. There's no way he doesn't see this. Like, even if he doesn't see this, he sees Valor and he's not even gonna fuck with that shit. Like, he's already gone and following
He's
Valor.
like, nope, Valor's leaving. I'm leaving too.
Like, he probably, like, Azure will probably falter for a second, look at the count, and just save your people and run.
I need all of you, including your companions, to make wisdom. Well, okay, not Tsalia. Tsalia is in a bag of holding.
Lamau.
Everyone but Tsalia, wisdom saves.
I make a dexterity check to try and escape my manacles.
Cack.
I don't.
I'm not proficient in with saves. This is not good.
Oh my god.
Doesn't matter. I rolled 19. Maybe. Well, I say it doesn't matter in the sense of I rolled surprisingly high. I don't know
I'd like
that
to say
actually
that
saves me.
That wasn't my roll, that was Fane's roll.
Give
Mine
me a
was
moment.
for me. The next one is for Ren.
But before you go on, let me give me a moment to decide if I use my inspiration or not.
Okay.
Oh fuck! A wisdom save.
Ren and I both rolled 19s.
Second most common
Not
save type
horrible,
in the game.
but not the greatest.
Likely a mental effect.
Oh my
Potential
god.
soul effect.
Wait.
Waiting.
Then you just opened a gate to the astral plane.
You had your bag of holding on you.
Yes.
We got warped to another dimension.
You
Unless he took the bag of holding off of her.
You didn't really shove her in all the way.
Okay.
You kind
So
of
her
had
hips
to
are
shove
still out where the bag is on.
Yeah, you had to shove her in
Okay.
enough to avoid the brunt of the explosion. But you also had to avoid the explosion yourself.
Okay.
I feel like you wouldn't have had time to shove Tsalia in all the way.
Yeah. I was able to scoop up her head and shoulders and shit. That's it. Okay.
Jesus
That
Christ.
guy... Holy shit!
Yeah, that almost ended so
Dude.
terribly.
That would have been hilarious if we fucking sucked the devils into the fucking astral plane with it.
Yeah, except you would have been stuck there with them.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
they
we
would have been
would've
stuck
been
there with
so
you.
stuck.
One or the other.
Well, I have sending. I can talk to a god to get us out.
I'm not using it.
Okay.
I fail.
Alright.
Hey guys,
like
I
it.
don't like the devil rock music going on.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I'm gonna be real with you.
Screams fill the air. Valor, Azure, you watch as light shoots up into the sky and coalesces. And then the ground shakes. You see as people fall to their knees and then fall lifeless. Azure, Valor, and Ren, there is a flash, and reality bends, twists, and breaks. Buildings crumble and then burn. And you watch as Fane falls to his knees in mental agony. And Vint, you yourself feel as though your soul is being ripped across dimensions. Your mind is filled with visions of Beator, the 9 hells, as claws grab at you and drag at you and hack at your psyche and soul. The ground beneath your feet rumbles, and you are pushed up through the now open, burning roof. And I'm gonna need another dex save.
Oh, and that plus 87. Calm down. Oh, I definitely succeed.
Hey,
it's a hand.
tumble off a massive clawed hand, able to just roll and bounce enough off of roofs. But when you finally hit the ground, it feels like all strength has left your body. You are under the exhausted effect.
Okay.
And you have lost 20 hit points.
Okay.
All around you, you watch as people are turned into lifeless husks, their souls torn from their bodies.
Hey,
Hey,
we were
guys.
right about the pentagram.
Yeah. Hey guys.
Yeah.
I don't think we're making our delivery.
Nope.
I like that the fucking music looped right then, so it went down.
I was so tempted to just be like, session over. Like, right when that fucking cut, I was like, session over. That's where you ended. But, just like with the Baron, reality around you warps. And... oh, go ahead.
No, you finish your description.
Fires leap out, and you see as tears in reality itself open and unleash a flood of the most unholy creatures you could ever imagine, in some more horrifying than the mind can comprehend. Fane has lost 10 hit points
Okay.
because he failed to save.
I lost 20 because I either super failed to save or was at the center.
Valor, you were going to say something.
First, Valor was gonna real quick check on Fane.
He looks a bit haggard, but he's able to rise back to his feet.
Valor will help him up, nod at him, and then turns around, unsheaths his blade, and looks at the three of them and says, "We head toward the center to find Tsalia and Vint. Any enemies you can dispatch of the way or help civilians, do so, but not at the cost of your own efficiency."
Vint,
Mm-hmm.
Tsalia, as you... well, I mean, as Vint is struggling to his feet and Tsalia's ass is hanging out in the air from the bag of holding, a host of vile creatures clawing their way from the ground and out of tears in the air itself slowly begin to surround you.
Chicken.
What the fuck is that? It's a cat? Looks like grandma.
It's them.
Vint, a
Them.
horde of these little things start crawling out. You see a few of them ignore you and start laying eggs in some of the corpses on the ground. But the wider host of the horde does not ignore you. And one of the larger ones steps forward.
Okay then.
And it shrieks as this mangled abomination tries to mimic the clucking of a chicken that very quickly
You rat
strangles
fucking bastard.
into probably the most horrifying fucking noise you've ever heard. entire goddamn life. And I want you to make me another wisdom save.
I have something I want the Lord to do, but I will wait. I'm just putting it on the docket.
I'm gonna do something immediately after this.
I have a question after Valor.
You are able to resist being petrified with total fucking fear.
Okay.
But your mind has one thing in its head.
Mm-hmm.
Run.
Yeah. And to that end, I'm gonna pull a card out of the deck of illusions and
All right.
throw it at the fucking chickens.
Okay, go ahead. Do that.
Okay. Yeah. So, I'm gonna roll a D34, I guess, because I don't know how else to do this.
Pretty sure that's what you do, is like a D34 or something.
It's normally pull a card. Okay, so 21 in. 32, 30. A troll appears.
Well, that's certainly going to distract those chickens for a while and give you time to run.
And I will use my bonus action to dash the entire way.
Valor.
Yes.
With Tsalia is still in the back. I'm not bringing her out or anything.
All around you is a horror show. A nightmare.
One last thing real quick. I will throw a couple of lockpicks into the bag of holding. Let her do it herself.
All around you, Valor, is a horror show, a nightmare. The people who have survived the sacrificial summoning circle are now fleeing for their lives from demonic nightmares, hell-bent on consuming, toying, tearing. It is a cacophony of chaos and carnage. You had something you wanted to do.
Yes. Valor, as he's prepping to enter the fray, to enter this absolute disaster, takes two of his fingers, places them at his mouth, and whistles as loud as he can before calling, "Fidget!"
Fidget rockets down from the sky. You feel the torrent of confusion, concern, but also like a sense of loyal duty to you and the party.
Mhm.
And you see like there's like a little tiny, demonic aberration that's like starts scrambling towards you, ready to leap, and then all of a sudden Big Fidget slams down and crushes it underneath her claw, and she reaches up with the scraps and just crushes even further and hurls it away. And she
Valor-
looks at you with a determined gaze.
Valora, understanding this determined gaze and not wasting any time, books it, grabs hold of one of the spines on her back, and hauls himself up.
Holy shit. The first instance of Valor mounted combat.
Yeah!
And that is where we're going to end session. Oh,
Oh,
go ahead,
right.
go ahead.
I said I had a thing.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's a bunch of stuff.
You're very
Very
quiet. You're
quiet.
very quiet. That's probably why I didn't hear you.
I have a question.
Go ahead, I will answer.
Okay, I literally like screamed that into the mic, but clearly it balanced it out. Oh, that's good. In all of my perusing of documents, would I have perchance, and I know that the squares do not actually the squares are not 5 feet. They're not 5x5.
Right.
I know that. I'm not pretending I'm in any sort of range of anything. I have an important question. What's the name of the guard captain? By that I mean, would Azure have come across the guard captain's name in perusing all these documents?
Captain Vance.
Cool. With he's if Valor, assuming Valor can see his face, it's rage. And he just screams. Sorry, repeat it one more time for my brain.
I just said, "Oh, he can see his face." That's all I
No,
said.
no, no. I'm Sparky.
Oh, Vance.
Repeat the name, the band's name.
Vance.
Vance. Vance, you cowardly cur! Your skull will break under my boot by the end of this. I vow.
Oh boy.
And you can take that as an oath. With
It's
all
just
the
like
weight of
when-
that.